Hi guys, my name is Nupur, and as part of our Mission Possible show, we have with us Mr. Jaysal, who is the owner of Play Premium Pet Boarding. Jaysal, where exactly is your boarding located? Can you tell us?
This is in Yelahanka on MVIT Engineering College Road.
Okay. So guys, this place I have visited with my own pet. I just been there for a day with him, and there's a lot of place for the dogs to play, and the kennels are huge. The places where they're kept, they're huge. So if you want to board your pet, Jaysal is the person to call. So let's get started, Jaysal. Okay.
Okay.
First question I want to ask you is, how did you get into this boarding space? How did you get into this niche market?
Okay. So, like any other pet parent, we rescued our dog. We found him on the street one day with a broken hip, and we got him home. And we started to learn that he is very specific about his needs and wants.
Mm-hmm.
So we started to learn from him on what he likes, what he doesn't like. And in that journey, we also wanted to board him somewhere. And we looked up all over Bangalore for a space that we could board him at. We went from Yalahan to Sarjapur and all other places as well. And finally, we found one place which could handle him at least.
Right.
So that's when we realized that there's a huge gap between what we were looking at and what needs to be there for a dog like you. And I'm sure every pet parent has his dog or cat with their own issues and their own things that they require in a boarding. So we thought that we need to close this gap and understand the pet and the pet parent's needs. And that's when I said, okay, if nobody is doing that, then we need to do this. So that's when it came about.
Okay. So see, the thing is, when you're leaving your pet with somebody, or somebody is leaving their pet with you, even if you're sitting there for a day, it is a big responsibility, right? Because pets are family and people love them to death. So when you are taking care of somebody's pet, it's actually kind of scary, isn't it?
Yes, it is very scary.
Sorry?
It is very scary.
It's scary, right? So tell us, when you had your first boarder, when the first dog came or cat came to your place for boarding, tell us something about that. How was your experience?
So we opened on September 15th last year, and got a pug initially. The whole center was empty, and we had just one pug there. So we started learning with the pug, try to make him comfortable at the place and all that. Then the second dog walked in, which was a Rottweiler.
Oh, God. Okay.
So on the contrary, he was a very sweet Rottweiler who taught us a lot of things.
Right.
And the journey began. The first cat came in because we also board cats. Because we understood there was a gap in cat boarding as well. A lot of people had a dog and a cat, so which was never addressed. So then we have a cattery as well, which is attached to the dog boarding but has its own place on it's also quite soundproofed, so the dog's barking doesn't create havoc for the cats.
Right. So your first boarder was a pug, and then the second was a Rottweiler. That's a big stark difference.
Yeah. So after it's been a long journey, and we've been learning with different kinds of dogs.
Right. Now tell me, Jaysal, one thing I want to know is, suddenly I've seen there's so many boardings that are coming up, that when I first got Buddy, I didn't know that this concept even exists, because somebody says, okay, pet hostel, it seemed very strange. I thought they'd probably go and learn some behavior and tricks and come back. I didn't know that people actually have a space where you can leave their dogs. So why do you think this concept has suddenly become so popular in India?
I think people have started looking at their pets as family members more now. Because I remember when I was a kid and I had a dog, and when we wanted to take a holiday, we used to ask our neighbors or a security guard to just give some food to my pet and then walk away, and then come for a couple of days, making sure that he's eaten and he's safe. That's it.
Okay.
We think that much that time. But I think now that they've become family members and the kind of facilities that they're giving our pets, uh, it's there is more awareness about what pets need,
Right.
everything combined. I think people are also taking notice that there is a business opportunity to this.
Right.
Where if you take good care of others' pets, there is obviously there's a lot of satisfaction in doing that as well.
Right. And you just said that you got to learn a lot from the dogs that boarded with you. What are some important things that you learned about dogs? Some misconceptions that were busted when you started boarding dogs with you?
Okay. So I think the most important thing that we've learned is, I think, to respect the pet. It could be a dog or a cat, but I think the mutual respect is one thing that I've learned, wherein I can't treat a dog or a cat like we used to before.
Right.
What we told earlier, that a dog has to listen to you, or a cat do this, they can do this, they can't do this, but I don't think they know those rules. So they teach us on what they like, what they don't like, and then we have to alter or change things according to them. So I think that happens in each house, and even at a boarding place, I think we have to do the exact same thing. Do what the dog likes and not impose on him.
Okay. And now, if I am looking for a boarding for my dog, suppose I want to board my dog somewhere and I'm a completely new pet parent, I have no idea. What are some things that I should look for in a pet boarding? How do I find the perfect place for myself?
Okay. So I think initially everybody starts off with going online, checking for their websites and pages, and maybe read reviews, check on all the reviews possible. And after which, I think as a pet parent, go to the place, see it yourself. Take your dog along. Leave him at the place for maybe be with him or just leave him there for a couple of hours and see how comfortable he gets there. And also the overall feel and vibe, your instincts will kick in. So once you enter the place, I think you will feel whether this place is good for my dog or not. So I think 90% of the time the vibe is correct.
So you're saying go with your instinct.
Yeah, go with your instinct. Also do verify who's running the boarding. Multiple people. That means, see, there are boardings run by animal welfareists. There are boardings run by breeders. There are boardings run by different sects of people. So, especially, there is a business angle to it, which can be taken to an extreme end.
Okay.
Where you can do anything for profits.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that you don't end up in a boarding where profit is the only motive.
That brings me to my next. What, like you said, that they can do anything for money and they can take. That's a really scary thought, being a pet parent. So what are some red flags or some? If I notice these things, it means the space is wrong. Even though the person may be really nice to you, you may feel that it's very clean and everything, but there may be some things that I should look for, which are red flags. What are those things?
Okay, I think first is check the reviews. Okay, no matter what the person says or what you see in the place, people would have experienced the place before you, so they would have written it out somewhere. You need to find those things. Also, that when you go there, the vibe I told you, instincts matter. And when you leave your dog there, I think dogs know it. You leave your dog there and you see how he's interacting in the place and what's happening to him. I think that gives us a lot of information.
Okay. And how long do you suggest I need to spend in a boarding area before leaving my dog? How long should I hang around, and is there anything like that at least spend half a day with the space or something like that? Is there any rule like that?
Nothing, no rule like that. I think when you go there, the first 5 minutes tells you everything.
Okay.
It will be comfortable for you and the pet. And within the first 5 minutes, you know the vibe.
Okay. Have you had any difficult boarders with you? Some very hard to manage or have been hard to manage?
Yeah, so they have been. Yeah, so as we learn with every dog that we go, so some pet parents come and tell us that recently this happened. So there were a German Shepherd and a Rottweiler that came to play. And the owner just came and he said that put my pets in the kennel, don't take them out for the next 5 days because they're very ferocious. And they're
Okay.
going to snap. So don't even bother. Just give them food and keep them in the kennels. But that's not our policy. We don't like dogs to be in the kennel all the time. So we said, okay. In front of the pet parent, we said we are okay. And our facility is made in such a way that we can handle aggressive dogs.
Okay.
So once we left, once the pet parent left, sorry, we started interacting with the dog. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we started interacting with the dogs. We gave them their space. We gave them food. We waited for a day and a half. And then they came around. And in the second day, when we send them videos, we show the dog playing with us.
Wow.
So that was information. So dogs change because it's not their territory. When they come here, it's a neutral ground. So things change here, and we've also met a lot of feminist dogs.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
So basically, these dogs have interacted with women all their life, and they're not used to men.
Oh
and we are
God.
3 men now. So literally, I had to go. My wife works close by, so I had to go bring her. Please interact with this dog. Introduce him to me and my boys, and then we see he starts playing with us.
Oh, this is something new. This I didn't know. I didn't know that there can be dogs who are gender biased also.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. So, do you go through any training or anything to learn how to handle different dogs with different temperaments, or is it just something that comes with experience?
I think I've been more of a hands-on person. So it's been like 10, 12 years of experience working with rescues, volunteering for animal shelters. So that's how I've learned how to behave with dogs and cats. The same experience carries over here. Also, I've attended a few courses on animal behavior to understand the part which I didn't get to know in practical.
Right.
So that's all that combined, I think, helps us interact with the dogs better.
Do you ever refuse to board a dog or a cat?
No, because every dog or a cat will teach us something.
Okay.
And the refuse come only in terms of if they haven't vaccinated the dogs, which is dangerous to dogs or other cats, or if the pet parent is telling us something that we need to know. Like we have a form to be filled, and if he's not answering the relevant questions, only then there's a question of refusal, but otherwise no.
And if the dog is unwell, do you board him? I mean, suppose the dog is unwell and the parent has to travel for some reason. Do you still board the dog or the cat?
We do. So yes, we do it, but unwell in terms of if the dog is unwell and he will not spread the disease, but he has some issues with older dogs who have arthritis. Yes, we can manage them. Some dogs are on meds for certain things. We can manage them. Not something that spread to other dogs. Then we refuse. Those kind of.
How different is it managing cattery and having dogs boarding with you? Of course, they're different. And how different? Jaysal, can you hear me? Hello?
I didn't get that. Can you just repeat that?
The question is, how different is it boarding cats versus dogs?
Can you repeat?
I think, is there okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So my question to you again is, what is the difference between boarding cats and dogs? How different is the experience?
So cats are very keep to themselves. So our cattery is made in such a way that the cat get their peace. They don't like to interact too much. They're specific about their needs. Don't need a lot of space to run about or anything like that. So a cattery is made more of a vertical space where they can climb up and down and sit on their own. And we do interact with them. We leave them in the room the cattery belongs, but we don't what do you call push the cat too much to interact with us because they like to be themselves
on their own.
And pet parents, they are very different. But dogs, on the other hand, love to play, love to walk around, smell, sniff, interact with us. So I think that's more interactive, and this is a little more patient with the cats.
Okay. When we're talking about any problem with the animal that's boarding with you, we usually think of dogs. Now, at least for me, when I think of an aggressive dog or a nervous dog or something like that. Do you have problems with cats as well?
Yes, we do. We do. So cats can get aggressive. They can. I've had people scratches on me. They tend to not get into their cabin, is what we call. They don't want to go into that, or they don't want to eat sometimes. So you have to keep tempting them treats or something to eat.
Okay.
Sometimes you leave them alone, or you want to try to clean their cubicle or kennel, and then they don't let you. So there are those instances. I feel patience and respect for cats and dogs helps in overcoming all those.
Okay. And what is the general boarding process that you follow? How does it work? Now, if I'm putting my dog at your place, what are some steps that you follow? Can you take us through them?
Yeah. So first thing we do is we send you all the information on WhatsApp, including a place, details, photos, videos, everything. Once you see them, we send you a Google form, which requires you to fill up the vaccination records, the dietary requirements of your pet, medical medicines or that you need to do, walk timings, play timings, anything that your dog needs to do with us. Also, something that makes the dog more comfortable is one of the questions. You can let us know that these things make my dog or cat more comfortable. So all those questions put across, and then once you fill that and send it to us, we also request you to come with the dog to our place to have a look before you board them,
right?
If possible, if you're close by. So what happens is we get to know your dog and you both get to know the place. Right. We also get a vibe. Like I mentioned, every boarding has its own vibe. So when you and your pet come to your boarding, you get your vibe and you know that, okay, this feels right. So that's what we want from every client of ours. And that's what from every pet that we board as well.
Okay. And suppose now you do allow the dogs to interact with each other or no?
So it depends. Generally, our facility does not allow interaction.
Okay.
Because again, it's a neutral space where it's not the dog's territory, and there are multiple dogs, multiple what do you call behavior. I don't know how your dog versus my dog, and when we put those two together, we don't know how both will behave with each other as well. So it's a huge risk. So we keep them separate, but we give them their playtime individually.
Okay. Okay. And can you tell us about your play? I really love your play area where you have those tires and all of that. So tell us something about the facilities in your place. What all do you have for the dogs, for the cats?
Okay. So for the dogs, we have extra large kennels. And the kennels have an outdoor area as well, where the dogs can walk in and walk out anytime they want to. In case they want to poop or anything, they don't have to wait for us to let them out. They can walk in and walk out themselves. They can also interact with other dogs with a layer of protection in between. You can smell each other, but they actually interact completely. So that gives them freedom. And also we let them out on the lawn area, which is about 8,000 square feet. We give each dog individual time of 20 to 25 minutes, 2 times a day before they feed, so that they come and expel their energy and they are more stress-free when they go back to the kennel.
Okay. Okay. Now, Jaysal, see, with animals around, there could be accidents, there could be injuries, and there could be medical emergencies for the pets. We'll come to the humans later, but for the pets, if there's any such issue, how do you manage that? What do you do?
So first and foremost thing is we notify the pet parent that this has happened. We try to avoid that at any cost, first of all, because the facility is made in such a way that there's no accident that happens. But if it does, then we immediately notify the pet parent that this has happened to your pet. And then immediately we move the pet to the nearest doctor.
Okay.
So that's a protocol we follow.
And suppose, have you ever had any instances of a pet attacking somebody that works at your center, or bites or anything like that? Anything serious?
Nothing serious as yet, because we all have interacted with multiple dogs and we've learned on what to do, what not to do. But yes, all of us have got bitten and scratched by cats. But
and are there any repercussions for the pet parent? I mean, if suppose my dog bites you, do I have to bear any? Is there any legal issue that I can get into or something like that? This is something a lot of pet parents have asked me. What if my dog bites? Will they file a case on me? It's something that they've asked. That's why I'm asking you. Is there any legal repercussion or financial repercussion of my pet attacking you guys?
No. It's an occupational hazard that we know completely well, that we got into this business and this is going to happen to us. And it has happened to us. So we learn from each bite or each scratch that we shouldn't be doing this.
Right. Okay. So it's also a learning process. So next time you won't do certain things. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And are there some mistakes that pet owners make when they're boarding their pet? What are the common mistakes they make?
Okay. There are 2-3 mistakes that generally happen. One is you don't tell us everything about your pet in terms of the habits, diet, or you want to have a different diet at play. You give it a different diet at home. So you're a vegetarian at home, but when your dog comes to boarding, you say, okay, you can feed him non-veg. So then he might have stomach issues.
Right.
Be very transparent on what you're doing at home versus what will happen here. So if you tell us exactly what you do at home, we can replicate the same thing here as well.
Okay.
Apart from that, also tell us about the dog's nature, whether he's aggressive, mild, shy. So those things have to be put across. And I think mostly that, dog's nature and all that stuff, and anything else like the vaccination records and all that, that has to be because we are risking other dogs as well. So those things. Yeah.
And are there any myths related to dog boarding, as in some misconceptions that people have about boarding?
Yeah, so there are a few. For example, kennel boarding is bad. They cramped in a small cage or something, which is not the case now. I'm sure it used to be back, but now kennel spaces are very different. They're large kennels, they're airy kennels. Dogs get their playtime. So that is one misconception. And also that home boarding or interactive boarding is good for my dog, not the caged boarding. Again, it depends dog to dog. My dog does not like to interact with other dogs. So I have to find him a boarding that does not make him interact with other dogs.
Okay.
It's just as we going to a holiday and staying in a dormitory versus a hotel room. So there are people who stay in a dormitory with other people, unknown people, and are still happy. And there are people who like to stay in their own individual rooms with their family. That's the difference.
Okay. So basically you're saying that kennel boarding is okay, because this is you're right. Kennel boarding is something that most pet parents have some sort of I don't know, they don't look at it as a positive thing. But
yes,
I think as a pet parent, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it gives him also his space to chill out and cool off in a new space, isn't it?
And we force dogs to interact with each other.
Yeah, that is true. That's absolutely right. Given that, have there been any instances, this is an unfortunate one, have there been any instances where pet parents never came back to take their pets?
Luckily, that's not happened yet. But we do have a mention of that in our disclaimer, that in case they don't come and pick up their pet at a certain point of time or something like that, we have policy that we will wait for a certain period of time, and if they don't turn up, we will try to track them down first. That will be our main priority. But if we can't, then I think we will rehome the pet.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
We do
rehome.
a couple of, yeah.
Was there any instance during this lockdown, because people got stuck in different places, people couldn't move around for some time? Did you have any instance where a pet was with you for an unknown period of time because of the lockdown?
Yes, there were 6 pets with us who stayed
Wow.
all through the lockdown. So there was a Rottweiler puppy that came when he was 3 months old,
Okay.
and he was 6 months old when he left. So he literally grew up at the facility.
Okay. And so obviously, if I have an emergency when I'm traveling and I call you and say, listen, I cannot come back on such and such a date, I think I will have to extend by say 10 days, 15 days. Then what do you do in case you don't have space? Because boardings are usually, it's impossible to find boarding, last minute and everything. So then what do you do? If it's a genuine issue.
I know, we understand the genuine issues, and I think we accommodate that. We have 30 kennels. So we make sure that for emergency sakes, like what you just said, we always keep 2-3 kennels available, because there could be an emergency anytime for anybody. And we generally, our financial scheme works in the basis of membership. So I have about 70 members now.
Okay. So are there any advantages or privileges of being a member? I'm just asking for people who are watching.
So yeah, basically you pay us beforehand. You take one of the membership plans, which could be a 7-day, 14-day, or a 30-day plan, and we make sure that you are given priority over a walk-in.
Okay.
You can call us if you are a member. You can call us and notify us even half an hour before, and we'll make sure there's a kennel available for you.
Okay. And what do you do if a dog doesn't eat, is refusing to eat, is not getting along with you guys? What do you do? Isn't that a challenge?
It is a challenge. It does happen to us. So again, being patient with the dog, respecting its area, giving it time, basically. And we also call up the pet parent and inform them that the dog is not eating. There is a period of time that we generally wait. But if it goes beyond that period where it gets concerning, then we call up the pet parent and say that, does your pet have a favorite food? Or what are the other things that we can do to entice him to eat?
Okay.
So we try things, but generally we get through to the only issue why the dog or cat doesn't eat is because it's not yet got comfortable.
Okay.
The priority is to make it comfortable.
And how do you notify the pet? Do you keep in constant touch with pet parents about like a daily update or something like that?
Yeah, we send them 2 updates daily, video updates, morning and evening.
Okay.
So that they look at the videos and let us know if they find anything off.
Okay.
That helps us.
Right. Makes sense. Jaysal, I also know that you do a lot of volunteering work. You do a lot of animal rescue. And of course, there is a lot of suffering out there when it comes to animals. So this is my question about Mission Possible. How important do you think it is that children are made aware of these things? And how beneficial do you think that would be in the future?
Okay. I feel that something like this, Mission Possible, should become a curriculum in the school.
Okay.
Because empathy is missing. People are not interacting with animals as much as they used to. There's a huge divide between how we are living and the animal world. I think something like this, forums like this and talks like this bring about a change. And also talking about it more and more creates awareness.
Right.
I think what Mission Impossible is started to do is at least bring about awareness. And then from there, people thinking and start taking action. So I think.
And how do you think parents, Do you think parents can use a space like yours, like a boarding or something, to come and educate their child? Do you also allow that you have a visit and children come and see the animals? Can your space be used for something educational like that?
We haven't done that yet because we are so busy handling the pets. But what we instead is we do talk to the pet parents and guide them and also send them to a shelter.
Okay. So you have for care, isn't it?
Yes, for care. So we send them to care and ask them to go meet all the animals there. They get a bigger view of the whole thing. They can interact with a lot of animals, dogs, cats, and other animals as well, and understand the whole. Because a boarding is a place where my top priority is to make the pets who've come comfortable.
Correct. Makes sense.
We leave it to the shelter.
Okay. Have you had children coming in and interacting with your animals, and what has their reaction been? Suppose a child is really small and they're not seen a pig, maybe they're not seen a pig in real life, or they're not seen I don't know what other animals you have at care right now, but I can only think of, for me the pig was wow. So how do they react? How do they react when they see something new like a bird or a cat or a dog? What is the best thing about that?
Okay, so amusement is one thing that we see on their face, and we do have chickens, ducks, guinea pigs, a lot of pigs. So I think when you see the chickens for the first time is when they know or when they realize the chickens look like this and not what comes in packs to be eaten. So that's a huge,
right.
That's one big thing that we've seen. Kids start interacting with chickens. They start interacting with dogs that are free, and they feel, wow, okay, dogs can. Generally, what happens is when you're on the road and a parent sees a stray, they try to pull the kid away, and there's a what do you call it? Something that happens psychologically where the kid starts getting afraid of strays. But when you go to shelter and see the strays interacting with you freely, your whole mindset changes.
Okay.
You feel that okay, a dog is a dog.
Continue. I thought, yeah.
So you see that a dog is a dog, irrespective of which breed it is. It could be a stray or what do you call a Saint Bernard, but they all do the same things. So I think it opens up a lot of. It's basically like opening a Pandora's box for the kids. They are now open, and you can fill in anything that you want.
Okay, that is why that is the whole idea of Mission Possible, to expose children to this, because I don't think nowadays, given the scenario, the kids hardly go outside to begin with. That is one thing, and second thing is there is so much fear around strays, around even a stray cat or even any wild animal, a pigeon also. Don't go near the. There's so much fear around the urban wildlife, so to say. So that is the whole idea of Mission Possible. And other thing is educate them about how they can be better with their pets, because we even see a lot of misbehavior with pets, which to me is astounding. I do not know how people can bring home an animal and treat it the way they do. So this is the whole idea of Mission Possible. So Jaysal, how do you think, what can Hoopsters do besides these talks, besides all these things? How can we use this platform to educate people and children more about animals? What is missing out there that we could possibly do?
I think getting this whole thing into schools is going to be the best thing that can happen. Children are more open in schools. They're ready to learn. I think once something like this gets into schools,
right,
can come back and in fact teach the parents, because parents are the one who put the fear in the kids.
Correct. That is
various
true.
things. So I think if the kids are educated before the parents, they can go back and relieve their parents of all the fears as well.
Absolutely. And I hope we can do that. And we'll definitely be talking to you more on this, because I also want to, talk about care and the work that you do, and probably how children can be involved in that. That is my whole plan for Mission Possible. Expose them to as much work that is happening around the country if possible. So thank you so much, Jaysal. It's been a lovely chat, and I hope to bring Buddy by to play sometime. I think I'll bring him sometime. So guys, for those of you watching, if you're looking for any place to board your pet, please look up Play Premium Pet Boarding. They're on Instagram. I think you can even Google them and you'll find all the details that you need. And that's about it. That's us. That's hoopsters.in. We'll also be doing many more shows like this on Mission Possible. Next Friday, we have something similar lined up. So keep watching, stay tuned, and don't forget to log on to hoopsters.in. Thanks, Jaysal. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.